Hi, this is Debbie with the Food Prepping channel. So tonight I'm going to show you a dish that I know is diabetic. It's healthy for you. I have got 1 pound of ground turkey, 1 pound of ground pork. Now, I've never used ground pork to fix a meatloaf with, but that's what I'm fixing tonight. I'm using 1 pound of ground turkey, 1 pound of ground pork to fix a meatloaf. So, I know that those meats are okay because there's no carb in meats. I don't overdo it on my meats. I'm going to try what somebody said on a video earlier about giving up the aspartame, and I'm going to get some decaffeinated tea and fix me some decaffeinated tea with one of the other sweeteners, Splenda or something. I'm not sure yet. I've just got to go tomorrow, get some groceries and look and see what I can find. But with this meatloaf, I've got 1 orange pepper and 1 small onion. I'm going to put that in with the meat, the ground turkey and the ground pork. And I asked my dietitian about this too. Do you count the onions or the peppers? Which peppers are one of the things that you can pretty much eat as much as you want. I asked her about counting your vegetables or whatever when you mix it into things like meatloaf, and she says you don't really count that, so I'm just doing what she says. And I've got the these are just the packs. I've had these, and these are just the packs of original instant oatmeal. I'm using 2 packs. Since it's 2 pounds of meat in there, I'm using 2 packs of original oatmeal, and I'm going to put these in here. And I have made meatloaf with breadcrumbs or other things, but I pretty much grew up using oatmeal in my meatloaf, so this is no different to me. I've heard a lot of people say that they've never used oatmeal in their meatloaf, but my mom always made it that way, and as far as I can remember, so did my grandma. A lot of people don't put peppers in theirs, but I think that peppers make a meatloaf. So, alright, and the next thing I've got is I've got 2 eggs, and I'm going to put those eggs in here. Alright. And I'm doing this as fast as I can, and I've got my oven preheated to 350. Alright, the next thing I'm going to use is I've got some Hunt's tomato ketchup, 100% natural, no high fructose corn syrup in it. So I'm going to use 1/4 of a cup of that, and it'll probably be more as I go on because I also like it on top of it. But inside the meatloaf, I'm going to use 1/4 of a cup in there. Alright. And then I had this salsa left over from one of the dishes that I made. Of course, it's still good. I'm going to use 1/2 cup of, this is just Old El Paso thick and chunky salsa, mild. And it's only got 2 grams of carbohydrates in 2 tablespoons. So, and there's nothing else. Wait a minute, and I'll show you on the back. There's nothing else in this. There's no fat, no cholesterol. Sodium, there's 200 milligrams. No protein, 1 gram of sugar. So I'm using 1/2 cup of that in here. And I forgot to get out the thing for my salt and pepper, so I will bring you right back. Okay, I'm back. I'm going to use 1 teaspoon of coarse. No, I'm just going to go on and use about a half a teaspoon of coarse ground black pepper. And I'm going to use a teaspoon of kosher salt. Now I'm going to mix this all up, and I'm going to put it in, let me make sure you can see this, in this pan. This is just a regular, I'm not even sure what kind of pan it is, but doesn't stick. And it's not a loaf pan because this is bigger than most loaf pans, so I have to get a pan bigger than that. But I'm going to mix this all up, and I really need to get in here with my hands and do this, but then I won't be able to cut my camera off. So I'm going to mix this. I'm going to put it in this pan. I've got my oven preheated or heated now to 350. I'm going to do that. Cook this in here with aluminum foil for about 30 minutes, and then take the aluminum foil off and cook it for about another 15 to 30 minutes. I'll let you know the time when I get back with this, so I will bring you back. Okay, I wanted to bring you back before I put this in the oven. Got it in the pan here, and I'm going to put, you can see it's not all the way 1/4 of a cup of ketchup, but I do like ketchup on top of my meatloaf, and I've got the best ketchup that I can find now. It doesn't have the high fructose corn syrup in it, and I'm sad to say that I am very much a ketchup person. I like ketchup on chicken. I like ketchup on steak. I like ketchup on everything, meat-wise. But someone did mention the other day that I need to put this as like a healthy dish instead of a diabetic dish in any of my dishes that I make like this. And I know that this is a low carb, diabetic and healthy dish, and all of us can stand to eat healthy these days, because from what I've been reading, I'm really having, like I said on my other videos, I've been having a hard time dealing with everything and finding out what's right about this sugar diabetes. But I know that this is a healthy, low-carb, diabetic dish. So I'm going to put this in the oven now. I'm going to cover it with aluminum foil, put it in the oven for 30 minutes. Then I'll take the aluminum foil off and cook it probably another 30 minutes after that, because I've got the oven down on 350. So it's going to take this about an hour to get ready, and I'll bring you back. Okay, here's the finished meatloaf. I've cut a piece off of it, and I'm getting ready to eat, but I wanted to show you this. It kind of fell apart as I was taking it out of the pan, but it's okay. Alright, here's my plate. Let me make sure you can see this. Yes, you can. I've got meatloaf, 1 piece of meatloaf. I've got a half a tomato cut up, and I've got some asparagus. This was canned asparagus spears that I rinsed off very well, and drained it, and then put some water back in it and cooked it for a few minutes. And I'm going to taste this meatloaf now and see what I think about it. This is cooked with turkey and pork, ground pork. Huh. I don't think I like the ground pork in it. I think it gives it a different taste. I think from now on I'm just going to stick with ground turkey or ground chuck. I know the asparagus is a carb, but it's after I've rinsed it and all. I did put about a tablespoon of Country Crock shed spread margarine in there. I love asparagus. I love tomatoes. And the reason that I've got this on paper plate is because my paper plates are only 8 inches. And they say that if you eat on a small plate, it makes you think you've got more food. So I've been doing that for a while now. This is pretty good, but it's definitely not as good as the ground turkey or ground chuck. I just don't. The ground pork gives it a different taste. Could be also that if you look at it, you'll see that it's a different color. When I fixed the ground turkey meatloaf from one of my subscribers, it wasn't like this. It was a lot darker. And I think if I use, if I make this meatloaf again, which I'm sure I will not use ground pork, but I will use ground turkey, and maybe a pound of ground turkey and a pound of ground chuck, and that will be perfect. But this is definitely a low carb and healthy diabetic dinner. So if you like this recipe, give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, share this on your Pinterest, on your Facebook, on your Twitter, and you have a good night, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.